when we make content for people, one of the most frequently asked questions is, how do I get it seen by more people? So you're going to share with us 5 ways to make that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think first, the important thing to think about is it's not just about getting lots of people to see your content. It's about getting the right people to see your content. And a lot of people focus too much on, I don't get many views, or I've not got many likes. But it's better to get 10 people see your content and one of them becomes a customer than 1,000 people seeing your content and none of them become customers. So don't get too hung up on how many people have seen your content. It's more about the quality of people that have seen your content.
We have that discussion quite often with our clients, and also as well when it comes down to like influencer marketing. It's like you could get, say, Kim Kardashian to share a post for you and she's got, 40 million Instagram followers, but the number of that's going to be your ideal client is so small. You'd probably be better off spending your money on a micro influencer that's in your niche, because while you might only have 20 or 30,000 followers, they are people that potentially buy your product.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about how many people see your content. It's about your conversion rates, really. That's what you should be focusing on. Obviously, it's good to reach a wider audience because hopefully you'll get more customers, but only if it's the right audience that you're reaching.
So if I'm not an idiot and I understand that process, what would be your 5 ways that I can get seen by more of the right person?
Okay, so the first thing is make content that people are actually going to be interested in. And I think that's the mistake people make, is they just make content they think people will want to see. So whatever's happening in the news lately, or whatever the latest craze is, or they might do a 30-minute video about their company history. But is that what people actually want to see? So think about what content people are actually going to be interested in. So there's a couple of ways that you can find that out. So you can ask people. So before I made these videos, I'd put a poll out on LinkedIn and ask my audience, what would they like me to talk about? What advice would they want me to give? And this was one of the subjects that came up. So you can ask people. You can test the market. So you could put out short posts about different subjects on social media and see what people are engaging with, and use that to then decide what longer content you're going to make, or if you're going to invest in videos, you can use those as the subjects for your videos. You can research the market. So if you're targeting a specific audience for accountants, say, go on accountant forums and see what type of things they're talking about and what kind of content they're engaging with, or look at what your competitors are doing. What content are they sharing that's getting a lot of engagement, and can you put a different spin on it or do it in a different format? And you can listen as well. So what are people asking you? What questions do you get asked a lot by people? What problems are your clients talking to you about a lot? What things are they saying come up over and over again in meetings? What advice are you giving out frequently to people? And use those as the topics for your content.
It's interesting you say that about, is it something that people ask, or is it something that people enjoy? Because we often say we wouldn't make content that we wouldn't enjoy ourselves if we had to be forced to watch it. So if you don't like it and you wouldn't share it, or you don't think it's valuable, then why would you create that and then hope that somebody else would find value in that piece of content? Yeah,
exactly. It's got to be one, the subject's got to be interesting, but also the way you present it has got to be interesting as well. And that will differ from person to person. Not everyone likes the same thing. So don't just try and do what other people are doing because you think that's the right way if you don't feel comfortable with that style of content. Videos, for example, if you're awkward talking directly to a camera, and it's going to feel uncomfortable for the person watching, then do something like this instead, where it's more interview style and it's a bit more natural. So play to your strengths, really.
What would be your second tip on how to get your content seen by more people?
So my second tip would be make good content. So go for quality over quantity. For me, I think if you're going to do content marketing, go all in. Don't hold back. Don't give mediocre, average advice. Give the best advice that you've got, and really make it value adding for people. Don't be scared of giving too much away, because I think you want people to watch your content or read your content or listen to your content and think that was a great investment of my time. Because if you promise something, so for example, if I said to this video that, these are my tips for getting your content seen by more people, and then you watch this video and all I say is write blog posts and share them on social media, you would feel really disappointed with that content because you'd think, oh, is that it?
I feel ripped off.
Exactly. So yes, if you're giving away your content for free, but that doesn't mean just make any old rubbish. Still make it good, still make it valuable, make it in depth, because you can write a long article, you can split that out and use it for different things. So make good content, make quality content, because if you're making quality content, people are more likely to comment on it, they're more likely to share it, they're more likely to tell other people about it.
And then you can repurpose that good content.
Exactly.
Which obviously if you're making lots and lots of content, you're spreading yourself too thin. So that's one of the biggest things we learned in our old business. We'd make sort of killer bits of content, and then almost like you said, you could break out individual tips. If you've done a 5 ways or a 5 things you should know type blog or video, you can then break that into 5 shorter videos. But if you're there trying to think, I'm going to make 5 30-second videos, it might not land the same.
Exactly. So the third thing, the third way to get your content seen. So once you've got content that people are interested in and you've made good quality content, the third thing is sharing it, which sounds really obvious, but it's amazing how many people think that once they've got a blog post and they stick it on their website, that's it, job done. Or they get a video made and they put it on their homepage and suddenly thousands of people are going to come to their website. So the way to get your content seen is to actually share it and tell people it's there. So the easiest way is social media because it's free. So you can share it on any social media platform. But don't just share the video with no context or share your blog post and say, here's my new blog post. Actually tell people why they should watch that content or why they should click on that link and read that blog post. So for example, when I share this video, I might put something like, do you struggle to get your content seen by people? Check out my video where I share 5 ways you can get your content viewed by more people or something like that. So it's addressing a problem that people have, and it's telling them, if you watch this content or if you view this content, you will get an answer to that problem. So give people a reason to view that content when you're sharing it. Get other people to share it. So if you've got colleagues that you work with, get them to share it as well. People you do business with, so people that have a similar audience to you but aren't in competition. So for example, if you're a mortgage advisor, you might get an accountant to share one of your post if it's relevant to their audience, or a property investor if you've written something about first-time mortgages. So you can find people who share the same audience as you and ask them to share your content as well. Another good tip is if you've got a newsletter, you can share a link to your latest blog post in your newsletter, but also on your email footer. So this is a trick that a lot of people miss. So on your email footer, a lot of people just do a link to their homepage, but who really ever clicks on that? Whereas if you've got 10 ways to increase your profits, or 10 things that could be costing you money, or whatever your latest piece of content is about, or check out our latest video on how to, and whatever it is, put that as a link in your footer, because it's going to get more people to click on it than just a link to your homepage. We
do a lot of that with the content we make for people. We tell them like 10 different ways you can use that one piece of content. So in essence, it's sort of on the internet in 10 different places for people to discover, all points them in the direction of where you want them to go. And it's amazing how few people recognize that it isn't disposable content. You're not making it once, posting it, and if it dies a death on its first day, it's gone. It's almost like, well, you could embed that in your marketing email. You could use it as part of a defrost campaign through your email sequence. You can put it on your website as an embedded video. You could put it into just a standalone marketing email. You could do it as a newsletter. You could do it as frequently asked questions on your website. There's so many ways. Even stuff like you could use part of it as an advert on Facebook or on YouTube or LinkedIn. It's crazy how people don't realize how you can repurpose this content.
So the fourth thing to do is resharing your content. So again, this is where a lot of people miss a trick, because they share their blog post once on social media and then they don't get many views. So they think, oh, well, that blog post didn't do very well. But you've got to keep sharing it, because if you think about how much content you see on a daily basis, how many things come up in your feed, can you honestly say that you click on every single blog post or video or podcast that your friends, family or business associates share? If you're on LinkedIn, do you click on every blog post that one of your connections share? Of course you don't. Sometimes you just be scrolling through your feed while you're making a cup of tea, and you might see something and think that looks interesting, but it's not the right time to read it. And if you're lucky, 20% of your connections might see that content the first time that you share it, but the other 80% won't. So keep sharing your content over and over again. Don't just share it once. That's the biggest mistake you make, is just sharing it one time. And in the same way that when I said share it on social media the first time, give it some context, when you reshare it, change it up a bit. So instead of saying, oh, do you struggle getting your content seen? The second time I share this video, I might put, would you like some great tips on getting your content seen by more people? So change the way you're positioning it, because a different headline or different opening line might attract more people to watch it.
And also things that happen in sort of like day-to-day life or in the world that week might lend itself to you reposting something that you wrote a year ago or 2 years ago. Great example of that is we did a Crypto for Dummies video nearly 3 years ago now, and that gets more views now than it did 3 years ago, because obviously crypto's had a bounce back and people want to know, what is blockchain and all these different things. So we've reshared that video a few times recently when something comes up like the Bitcoin pump and dump and stuff like that. So that's why it is important that you write sort of evergreen content, so you can make those reshares look less forced and probably get a better return on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's about creating content that you can use over and over again, but also remembering that you've got that content so that you can remember to reshare it. And it's amazing what content you might have written or recorded a year ago that you've completely forgotten about. You can go back through it and reshare it again, because what about all the new connections you've made in the last 6 months? They're not going to look back through your feed to look for blog posts that you wrote 6 months ago. So, keep sharing that content. If you've invested time or money into it, then get more mileage out of it and get it seen by more people.
I've seen a few people on LinkedIn actually doing, for my new connections that don't know me, this is what I do. And they've got like a video explaining who they are, what they do and how they help people. And I've seen them post that maybe 5 or 6 times during the year, which I thought was quite a nice way of reusing a bit of easy content.
It doesn't bother you if you see the same content more than once. It's like TV ads. Companies don't make an advert and then only show it once. You see the same adverts over and over again. We're used to seeing the same things over and over again. So people are like, oh, well, people will just think I'm sharing the same content. Well, yeah, it's okay to do that. No one's going to go, oh, they shared that blog post 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's a normal thing to do, to keep sharing your content. The other way you can reshare it is on your new content, link back to old content. So on my blog posts, there's always a section at the bottom that's related articles. So I link back to other content that I've done in the past, or link within your article. So when you write in your next piece of content, think about content you've done previously. How can you link back to that so you're resharing that old content, because again, people might not have seen it first time round. So just keep sharing the same content. But if you've followed step number 2 and done quality content, then you can keep sharing it over and over again.
And your final tip for getting more people to view your content?
So the final tip is to repurpose your content. So we've touched on it already, but it's looking at how can you turn that content into something else and reuse parts of that content? So videos, you can transcribe them and turn them into blog posts, or take single lines or sentences or sections and turn them into social media posts. So I did a consultation with someone recently, and I gave him this advice. And I said, well, go back through your old videos and transcribe them. And he emailed me and he said, we've just had some training videos transcribed. I'm 1 minute into an 8-minute video and I've already got 4 standalone social media posts from it. So use your content for different purposes. So videos are great. If you transcribe them, you can always find little snippets that you can use for social media posts. The same with blog posts. Go through, pull out standalone sections, turn them into images or infographics, that kind of thing. If you've done how-to posts or informational posts, turn them into PDF documents, and then you can email them out to new clients. Or if someone's asked you a question, or if you've seen a question being asked on LinkedIn, because you can attach a PDF into a LinkedIn message and say, oh, I've got this information on that, and send it to people so you can use them for that. So there's just absolutely tons of ways that you can repurpose the content. So don't just make a piece of content and only use it once, think of it like your favourite pair of jeans. You don't just wear them once with one t-shirt. You wear them for different occasions. You might wear your jeans with different shoes, different tops, different belt. You don't just wear it once. It's the same with your content. Don't just wear it once as a standalone outfit. Mix it up, change it, use it for different things, get wear out of it.
And you don't know what way that your audience necessarily likes to consume content. They, different connections will consume content in a slightly different way. And like you said, they might be on the go, so they can't listen to something. They might be able to listen to something and not be able to read it and stuff like that. So you want it in as many different formats that add value as possible. Exactly.
And some people don't want to read long articles or watch long videos. So, a 2-line post on LinkedIn, if you break in your content down into little tiny micro posts for them, that might be an easier way for them to consume the tips, because they might find watching a long video or reading an in-depth article is too overwhelming. There's too much information coming at them. So it's, again, you don't be arrogant to think that the way you like to consume content is the way that everyone likes to consume it, because it's not. Everyone likes things in different ways.
Pique their interest, and if they want to read more, they go and find the rest of it.
Exactly.